हाय फ्रेंड्स, होप यू आर डूइंग वेल। रिसेंटली अहमदाबाद ट्रिब्यूनल ने एक इम्पोर्टेंट रूलिंग डिलीवर की है रिगार्डिंग द क्लेम ऑफ द एसएससी ऑन लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन विच वाज exempt अर्लियर under 1038. So without further ado, let's get started with the case. The sole ground was the learned CIT appeals erred in law and in facts confirming the addition of 59,32,860 made by the EO as unexplained credit under section 68. The brief facts are: SSE has filed a return of income for the under consideration, declaring total income at so and so after claiming deduction under Chapter 6A, and SSE has also claimed exemption under Section 38 on LTCG an amount of 2 crores 37,10,473, out of which AO has alleged that an amount of 59,32,086 have been claimed in unacceptable way. The assessment was reopened by the AO under Section 147 since SSC is found to have entered into suspicious share transaction in the relevant year. Since the scrip NCL research has been found by the EO to be a bogus scrip in nature of the penny stock being manipulated for the purpose of providing bogus capital gains, he was of the opinion that SSC was required to be assessed under Section 147. Subsequently, AO framed assessment by disallowing 59,32,860 under Section 68 towards the claim of LTCG, holding that the impugned gain on sale of shares was liable to tax it. Agreed by the order of the AO, SSC filed appeal before CIT, who also dismissed the appeal of the SSC. Agreed by the SSC is a now appeal before the tribunal. अब ट्रिब्यूनल में SSC ने जो सबमिशन किया है उसकी जिस्ट है यहाँ. The OA has not referred into item of the evidences which can lead to the conclusion that LTCG earned by the SSC from the sale of listed shares of NCL Research which were purchased during the year through the stock exchange were sold during the year under reference also through stock exchange were sham or bogus. The addition made merely on surprise or suspicion can under no circumstances be justified. It was also submitted that nowhere under the statement recorded by the investigation being on the basis of which the reopening was initiated has the name of either of the appellant or broker. It was only preposterous on the part of the AO to have presumed that the sale proceeds received by the SSC were not genuine and were liable to be added as unexplained under Section 68. While the SSC has fully discharged its onus in explaining the source of genuineness of the credit of the sale proceeds in his bank account, EO has, without leading any cognate evidence against the SSC, mechanically inflicted the addition relying on the provision of Section 68, which have no basis or justification. The learned AR argued that in list of the persons alleged to be penny stock operators, exit providers, share brokers, members whose statements were recorded in copies of the same were furnished by the SSC in form of a CD drive, nowhere SSC's name or SSC's broker name either appear directly or indirectly. So basically the contention with the SSC was that the whole transaction was genuine. जो genuine उसके बैंक अकाउंट है उसमें से उन्होंने परचेज किया है चेक देके, और जो सेम बैंकिंग चैनल से रेगुलर बैंकिंग चैनल से जो सेल्स प्रोसीड्स आया है उसको डिपॉजिट किया है, तो उसको शेम ट्रांजैक्शन विदाउट एनी कॉन्टेंट एविडेंस नहीं माना जा सकता. The DR, on the other hand, relied on the orders of the authorities below, which have been studied extensively and used wherever necessary. Now, what tribunal delivered? On the facts and case, we find that the SSC has sold shares of NCL Research for 80 lakh rupees through Sri Naman Securities Finance Limited for the year under consideration, on which he had shown LTCG of 59 lakh rupees and claim exemption under 1038. EO disallowed the same on the ground that on the guise of the bogus sham LTCG claim under Section 38. We have considered the arguments of the learned AR that even if it is considered that the scrip prices have been manipulated, the SSC has no role in being passive investor along with the number of scrips other companies. We also have considered the arguments that the SSC has earned profits to the tune of 2.37 CR in similar fashion, and as of the suspected shares of 59 lakh the shares of NCL Research cannot be colored differently. We have given the due consideration to the arguments of the AR that the investigation wing of the IT department report cannot be taken into consideration as the gospel truth. SSE or his broker is not figuring in the report, not his share of this transaction leading to the LTCG. SSE is unaware of the dummy and paper company statements recorded during the course of investigation, does not point out towards the SSE and his transaction in question. It was argued that the broker of the SSE is not implicated in any manner. We have given the consideration to the arguments that the scrip is still listed on the bourses. The SSE, being a passive investor, cannot be attributable to any change in the value of shares, and the value of the share changes according to open market economies. In this background of the arguments, we have examined the financials and movement of the scrip in the market. SSE purchased the shares on 2nd September 2011 and sold them on the dates from 11/9/2012 to 7 December 2012. In the backdrop of the investigation carried out by the IT department, we examined the movement of the scrips from various periods as mentioned by the revenue. From January 2011 to September 2013, the share price increased from rupees 1.56 to rupees 80, a rise of 5128%. This is the period in which SSE has purchased the shares and sold up to December 12. It is interesting to note that from October 20, 2013, the share price fell from high of 80 to a price of 12, a fall of 666% in 6 months. So now buying and selling of shares in a concentrated way shows a direct connection between operators and SSE and proves that the entire process is predetermined and synchronized. The company's financial profits, dividend earning per share, if it is not sole basis of an increase in the share, but at least it is a paramount fact that in the instance case, it is clear that the all criteria has given a go away. Keeping in a view of the financials, we have no hesitation to say that the scrutiny financial parameters cannot command such a high rise of the shares in such a small period. Mysterious are ways. In an enigmatic ride of the SSE has made 400% profit in a span fat of the 13 months. 13 months में कोई इतना profit obviously कैसे कमा सकता है? This coupled with the investigation conducted by the IT department with the backing of the statements of the broker, it can be said that the SSE cannot claim the ignorance of the unfair trade practices took place in the security market with respect to this script. Submitting that the SSE is a passive beneficiary of the operation cannot absolve the accountability of the SSE on the LTCG claim. The said script has been in dormant and suddenly sprouted to yield profits of the highest order and then went into obligation. Further, we coupled with the inquiries conducted by the SEBI with regard to the script do not instill any confidence about the genuineness of the earning of the long-term capital gains. Hence, we have no hesitation to hold that the NCL research script was penny stock and used by the SSE to book LTCG. The transaction being ungenuine, this will disentitle the SSE claim exemption under section 38. The production of the contract notes, bills, invoices, payment of STT, banking channel evidences per se does not explain and demonstrate genuineness of the shares of transaction unless and until SSE prima facie shows to the authorities, particularly so when LTCG is claimed in return and the rise in price of scrip was a usual market phenomena which was driven by the market force. So basically, if you are claiming any exemption under Income Tax Act, you have to, the onus is on the SSE to prove that the transaction in question is genuine by all means and not any colorable device to use to tax evasion practice. इस केस में ITAT ने जो CIT अपील का ऑर्डर है उस पर रिलाई किया है और CIT के अपील ऑर्डर में यहाँ उन्होंने मेंशन किया है द SSE have lost sight of an important fact that when a claim is made for LTCG or STCL यानी लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन और शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल लॉस, the onus is on the SSE to prove that the credit worthiness of the companies whose shares of the SSE has dealt with the genuineness of the price rise, which is undoubtedly alarming to the within a short span of time. Further, Honorable Delhi High Court in case of NDR Promoters Limited held that where SSE created a lot of paperwork to camouflage the transaction of bonus nature, bogus nature to look like genuine. There is no need of the cross examination. This was one of the arguments of the SSC, that they were not given the opportunity of the cross examination for the investigation held by the income tax department wing. Reliance is also, this is also very important judgment later affirmed by the Honorable Supreme Court. Reliance is also placed on the Honorable Delhi High Court in decision of the Sumit Poddar, wherein it was held that the share transactions were bogus because the company whose shares allegedly purchased were of the penny stocks, and this decision were affirmed by the Supreme Court. The Honorable Court has opinion that in this type of cases, cross-examination opportunity is not required because statements and other material found in the course of the investigations were used as a corroborative material to strengthen the findings of the AO. The AO made the addition based on the circle factors and analysis to prove that there is no genuineness in the transaction and utilizes statements of the operators of the corroborative evidence only. There is one more Supreme Court judgment in this regard in case of Durga Prasad More. It is true that when the transactions are through checks, it looks like a real transaction, but authorities are permitted to look behind transactions and find out motive behind transactions. Generally, it is expected that what is apparent is real, but it is not synchronisant if the facts and circumstances so warrant that it does not accord with the test of human probabilities. Transactions have been held to be non-genuine. It is highly improbable that share price of worthless company can go from ₹3 to 55 in a short span of time. Mere payment of check does not render transaction genuine. Capital gain tax was created to operate in a real world and not that of the make-believe. So these are all corroborable devices used by the SEC to convert their black money into white money. We therefore hold that the facts and circumstances of the present case are very tightly knit case where revenue has gone behind the transaction of the capital gain to know the factual operation of the sudden volatility in the price of the scrip. The present case is therefore required to be adjudicated on the given sets of the facts and evidence. As rightly observed by the CIT in his order, it is relevant to note that the price maneuvering occurred in SSC's case as confirmed by the DGIT SEBI statement of the involved persons and recorded in view of the above, we find that the SSC's transactions are not genuine, and therefore we affirm the well-reasoned order of the CIT appeal. In the result, the appeal of the SSC is dismissed. So one very important takeaway from this decision is that onus always lies on the SSC when SSC claims any exemption. अगर आप इनकम टैक्स में कोई भी एग्जम्पशन या डिडक्शन क्लेम करते हो तो ओनस आप पे ही रहेगा उसकी जो ट्रांजैक्शन है उसको जेन्युइननेस प्रूव करने का. इस केस में भी जो पूरा ट्रांजैक्शन था वो ऐसे एट पार आपको जेन्युइन लगा होगा कि एसएससी ने रेगुलर बैंकिंग चैनल से ही सब ट्रांजैक्शन किया है, बट ऑन इन्वेस्टिगेशन इट वाज फाउंड आउट कि ये एक बोगस ट्रांजैक्शन था टू कन्वर्ट ब्लैक मनी इनटू वाइट मनी. दैट्स इट. आई होप ये वीडियो आपको पसंद आई होगी. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो. हैव अ गुड डे.